I'm Stephen Jones, the National Secretary of the Community and Public Sector Union. The essential services that you deliver are critical for all Australians. They're important for our communities, but they're even more important as we try and find our way through the global economic crisis. That's why we're campaigning hard to protect your jobs and the services that you deliver. Our message to the Commonwealth Government is clear: this is no time to be cutting essential jobs and services.
Hi Minister, my name's Kay and I'm from Queensland, and we just had an election where we beat back some proposed cuts to the Queensland public sector. Kevin Rudd came out and strongly criticised the LNP for wanting to cut jobs in the public sector, and that was wonderful. But why is it such a bad idea to cut jobs in Queensland public sector, but it's not in the federal arena?
Well, as I said, the government has no agenda to cut jobs in the federal arena, and my expectation is that it's unlikely that you'll see major dramatic change in either direction in aggregate numbers. We have, over the course of the past 18 months or so, instituted a range of savings initiatives. One of those, of course, is highly unpopular, understandably, with the CPSU and with many parts of people in the public sector, and that is the efficiency dividend. We have pretty much, and I've said this publicly to people, we have pretty much got most of the available savings from within our own internal operations, and that now, if we want further savings from the processes of government, the opportunities are becoming more and more limited.
And I noted in the recent parliamentary inquiry into the effect of the efficiency dividend that agency heads confirmed that the efficiency dividend is directly causing cuts to jobs and services in particular. And Minister, in the middle of a major economic crisis where every job matters, why are you persisting on continuing with this policy?
Although I do acknowledge, and that report does indicate that there are instances, particularly with smaller agencies, where it can have undesirable effects, my view, as I said, is that it is better off to deal with those instances specifically in a customised way, rather than to get rid of the overall efficiency dividend arrangement. But the other thing I'd caution you on is, when an agency head says to you, we're doing this and this and this because of the efficiency dividend, don't assume they're telling the truth. like I tell you, if I was running an agency and I had a sort of vociferous union organiser there, having been in that position or whatever, that'd suit me as a convenient excuse too.
We've just been out in CPSU and surveyed around 2,800 of our members, and over 60% of them are saying there are cuts to jobs, there are cuts to services happening in their agency right now. Under those circumstances, it seems to us that there's a direct connection between what's going on with savings initiatives, efficiency dividend and other, and you have to concede that some of that activity is directly driving unemployment.
Well, actually, look, I don't concede it because the evidence doesn't show it. There, of course, have been a whole lot of things introduced by this government that involve public servants and public sector workers doing things that previously weren't being done. Now, clearly, I can't be across the fine detail of every last movement here, there and everywhere of people from this area to that area, there will have been inevitably some people who've lost jobs who haven't got new jobs, but I would suspect that that would be thus far pretty small in number. And we're also very conscious of the point that was being made in the video before I came in, that we will obviously be exposed to criticism if, in the circumstances where employment is the number one issue, we are seen to be substantially cutting jobs in our own backyard. We are very conscious of that point.
Well, there's more things that we agree on, Lindsay, with this government than we disagree. That doesn't mean we can overlook our obligation to focus and campaign hard on the things that we disagree on, and clearly we disagree. We disagree very strongly on the government's position on funding and particularly the efficiency dividend. It is true to say that the campaign is only in part directed at the government, because I've got a philosophy that it's the obligations of unions not to go cap in hand to a Labor government and say, please sir, this is what we want. I've got a philosophy that it's the obligations of unions, and particularly our union, to go to the community and to change community opinion about the role of government and the role of government services in this country.
"10 years of federal government budget cuts have increased pressure on essential jobs and services, whether it's protecting our borders, improving the quality and safety of the food we eat, supporting our returned servicemen and women, stopping diseases entering our country, or providing income support and opportunity for families. A global financial crisis is no time for the federal government to cut jobs and the essential services we all need." Authorised by Stephen Jones, CPSU, Canberra.